Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game, KraV versus Inspired. This game taking place here on, here on Shallow Grave. Making sure I got the colors right. We have Inspired spawning as that blue human, or as the blue human player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, KraV spawning as the teal undead versus human in a 1v1 matchup here, and well, looking forward to what is in store for us today. What are the players going to be doing? What are their strategies? As the meta is starting to really finally pan out. Inspired not using that micro peasant trick to try and mine just a little bit faster. I thought Crota is casting on Back to WarCraft YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you, notification. No, I'm not casting on the Back to WarCraft YouTube channel. I would love to do it. I don't think I'm against it. I don't think Neo or Remo would be against it either. Remo, Neo, yeah. I think the major setback is just the amount of time it would take to be able to set aside a big work together. Finally, I'm here at the start of the stream. Yes, a start of the stream. If you want to be at the start of the stream, well, good thing you follow here on Twitch. Get those notifications. Now, KraV was one of the first undead players that I knew that really enjoyed using a Dreadlord first, even before the popular strategy of trying to expand with that Dreadlord. KraV had said in the past that the Dreadlord allowed him to get in a sleep and then surrounds rather than trying to time your Death Knight death coils, especially when playing on the Asian servers. That little bit of lag difference between France and the South Korean Chinese servers, well, those split-second differences could have a lasting impact. We can quickly see that the Dreadlord sells the Scroll of Town Portal, picks up a sacrificial skull. Does he have 6 acolytes out on the battlefield? He does. So it looks like he is going to be trying to go for some sort of expansion. This acolyte now making its way back now, interestingly enough. So the timing on this is going to be key. No, he is not, however, trying to expand yet. All right, so interesting call, selling the Scroll of Town Portal, but not going straight for that expansion as I initially imagined. Forest Troll Shadow Priest is not even bothering to heal right now. Forest Troll High Priest is now out here onto the battlefield, and that will all get cleaned up here. Are we going to see some low hit point ghouls? Great micro so far, as that Forest Troll High Priest is trying to heal up some of those units. A lot of low hit point ghouls. Are we going to see Vampiric Aura as that second ability? No, nothing just quite yet. As a lone footman comes across here, Skeletal Minion is going to get cleaned up, and then now we may see this one footman have a little bit of trouble. All right, the footman, is he going to end up getting surrounded? Yes, he is. 2 low hit point ghouls are going to go ahead and escape away. This one ghoul down to 121 hit points. Is he going to get taken down? No, he is not. The footman, completely surrounded, gets taken down first. More skeletal minions getting added in here. Still, well, are we actually going into some sort of an expansion attempt by KraV? He's going here on the bottom left-hand side. I could not imagine him trying to clear out this red creep camp this early, but it looks like that is his game plan. All right, this is an aggressive creep pattern here. Is he? No, he's just simply wandering around the backside. Gonna go ahead, kill that one. I'm not quite sure what it was, but it's now a skeletal warriors as they're making their way off to the north. All right, tech to tier 2 has not been started. Everything looks like it is going to be is he actually going to try to use a sacrificial skull here? All right, Carrion Swarm now ripping through damage. Going to go ahead and get added on up. Peasants are going to get taken down. More Rod of Necromancy. No more charges on that Rod of Necromancy. Another peasant going to get taken down here as the Arcane Tower quickly gets canceled. All right, damage trying to get racked up here. The Dreadlord sitting at level 2 still. More and more units getting cleaned up here as well. Are we going to see a sacrificial skull? I'm still curious as to overall strategy, what he is trying to do here, as the Town Hall sitting at 400 hit points and may end up getting canceled. No Scroll of Town Portal to try and back away, though, as the Scroll of Town Portal as was sold, and now the scout tower going to get taken down. So Town Hall now finally taken down. Inspired coming back across. Are we going to be looking at a Scroll of Town portal here? There's a Carrion Swarm finally ripping on through, and now Blight being placed down. Not quite sure why the Blight is now being placed down here, as the regeneration could have been helpful earlier. All right, there's a Potion of Invulnerability. More peasants going to get killed here as the Dreadlord has no way out, really. Is he going to try and carry on Swarm again? He is healing up a little bit of hit points, but that is it. Trying to take down another peasant. Could end up finishing off that peasant. Is he going to be able to take it down? Does take down the peasant, as the Dreadlord still stays at level 2. All right. KraV with a misstep there. Not quite sure what he was going for. He does tech to tier 2, but all signs were really pointing to an expansion attempt. The 6th Acolyte, the selling of the Scroll of Town portal, all of those things made me believe that an expansion attempt was underway. And now, well, the Dreadlord is at level 2 and low on hit points and mana. All right. Yeah, maybe he dropped the sacrificial the blight to buy a little bit of time, but if he was trying to buy time at this level of Warcraft 3 play, you're buying time to do something else. I'm not quite sure what KraV's strategy was there, what he was trying to buy time for. As we are looking now at the expansion on the top left-hand side, once more getting pressured. Level 3 now on that Dreadlord. Level 2 Carrion Swarm could rack up quite a bit of damage here, as we're looking at more peasants getting cleaned up. Now the tech to tier 2 is getting delayed significantly, since lumber and peasants are so low overall, as the Forest Troll Berserker now being forced to try and retreat back. Are they going to all walk in a single file line? More peasants getting taken down there, as another peasant getting taken down again. And so far, Inspired is just down to 11 workers, even though he is trying to set up an expansion on the far side. All right, more ghouls making their way over. Blight is still here, so the pressure is still being placed down, as the Dreadlord is currently getting healed up. All right, down across here, ghouls maybe need to try and retreat back, but with 2 town halls to try and replace the dead peasants, he should be able to rebound nicely. All right, are we going to see an Abolish Magic? Yes, right there. 3 Abolish Magics to take down a level 2 Water Elemental. Dreadlord is halfway to level 4. Inspired sitting at level 4 with a Ring of Regeneration. All right, these ghouls all low on hit points still. We are now teching to tier 3. We are not getting up a second hero as of yet. We are going into a graveyard. This low hit point ghoul should perhaps be on a blight, gathering a bit more lumber. Lumber doesn't seem to be a problem right now for KraV, but the Archmage being at level 4 with level 2 Brilliance Aura is gonna be a big threat. That water elemental and that piercing damage does eat through ghouls pretty quickly, and especially since the Dreadlord does not have an obsidian statue to back it up yet, not gonna have enough Carrion Swarm to really well, dish out and punish Inspired's very heavy footman army. Coming back around, there's Lightning Shield being placed down. Dreadlord looking to try and finish off this Ogre Warrior. Ogre Warrior about to get taken down, as the ghouls are still running over towards this location here. Inspired, however, going to be getting up a guard tower over an arcane tower, and a guard tower's damage output is incredibly high. Should be able to make short work of those ghouls. Coming back through, we are looking at Mud Golem joining in on the battle. Yeah, KraV really using that mercenary camp to effectively try and clean things up here, as the Dreadlord gonna get in some easy kills onto some low hit point footmen. But Inspired's the one with the mercs here. The Inspired Mud Golem. Yes, there is slight tints of blue on that Mud Golem. I apologize for not being able to spot it earlier. Archmage still trying to fight his way through. Another Water Elemental going to get taken down. Level 4 now on to that Dreadlord, and that's going to give a little bit more mana, and another Carrion Swarm ripping through another set of footmen. Again, Dreadlord does have level 1 Vampiric Aura, sells something, and now perhaps going to try and engage here. More Mud Golems fighting back and forth here, as more skeletal minions are popping on up. Rod of Necromancy still has an additional charge. Are we going to see a little bit more damage add on in, as this Halls of the Dead will become a Black Citadel here in just a moment? All right, Dreadlord first still. Dreadlord first without an expansion. Really making me scratch my head on the overall strategy here, as Inspired now looking to clean up some of these skeletal minions here and perhaps get closer to level 5. Down to the south, Inspired, or not down to the south, down out west, now setting up an Arcane Vault, setting up some additional guard towers to try and protect that economic advantage. As we see, well, that Dreadlord, solo Dreadlord at tier 3 at this point, he is benefiting from bonus experience. He could try and buy a potion of mana and then carry on Swarm right through the middle here. Mass ghouls, there's that carry on Swarm right there, and you can see the damage is starting to rack up here, but the Dreadlord wants to get the killing blows on these units. Getting the killing blows on these units would give him more experience. I believe the tower got one of those killing blows here as another footman about to get taken down. All right, Dreadlord still sitting at 4 and not quite at 4.5 yet, as more damage is still getting racked up. That Forest Troll Berserker going to get taken down here as the Archmage is at nearly at level 5, and Dreadlord now past level 5 as well. All right. One Water Elemental. Water Elemental is going to get dropped down here. Damage is still racking up again and again. Dreadlord still fighting on Blight, able to rack up quite a bit of damage as the units are looking to back away. That low hit point Water Elemental going to end up being able to dissolve into a puddle. That is experience that I'm sure KraV desperately wanted, but was somehow unable to get. KraV sitting at 26 supply compared to 39. Inspired now has a bunch of workers, 22 workers. His worker army is actually larger than his army. And with that, that is why these fights have been so close. KraV actually has a larger army overall, as he's been taking some of those ghouls off of a Blight in order to engage. Dreadlord could get to level 5 here. Will get to level 5 here off of this level 5 Sasquatch. Does have a Tome of Strength Obsidian statue now out here as well. That's going to provide some hit points and some mana for that Dreadlord, who is going to, well, really be lining things up with that Carry-On Swarm. However, that Carry-On Swarm might be a little bit too late now, as we are already going into Castle and could be going into perhaps Flying or Knights or Spellbreakers. It looks like it will be Knights here, as I don't see the Arcane Sanctum yet. All right. Dreadlord, 178 mana, a second, Destroyer form now going to get researched as well. And here we are going to be going into an engagement. And do we see a Carry-On Swarm lining things up? Yes, right there across all of those footmen. And suddenly that full hit point army down into half life in just no time flat. Little bit more experience needed, but the Dreadlord gets a sleep off onto that Archmage. There's a Carry-On Swarm being used by a potion, and a handful of footmen all getting cleaned up. Beautiful use of a potion of mana there, making it look like he was completely out of mana, and then suddenly bursting through and now getting halfway up to level 6. Dreadlord getting up to level 6, partially the strategy. Solo Dreadlord getting bonus experience while at tier 3. Archmage now has a partner in crime, though, with that Mountain King. Is the level 5 soon trying to be level 6 Dreadlord gonna get there, or is the Mountain King gonna halt that progress far too much? All right. Dreadlord now trying to make its way back here. Stormbolt onto that Ghoul. Ghoul gonna get taken down there. Meanwhile, footmen are just simply running and fleeing for the hills. Not enough mana on that Dreadlord. Stormbolt onto another Ghoul. Now level 5 on the Archmage. Archmage opts to go for level 3 Water Elementals. That is that level 3 variety, 44 to 52 damage, as the Destroyer form now getting up and perhaps going to try and devour magic and go after some of those units. All right, you can see that the Destroyer with mana actually wins out in that battle against those flying machines, but the flying machines were not stacked together, meaning no splash damage. All right, another Devour Magic could be getting underway here. More damage getting racked up. There's a little bit of Devour Magic trying to finish off that Water Elemental, but still not enough, as the Destroyer, down to 126 hit points, needs to back up. All the footmen have pretty much retreated back. Flying machines trying to engage as the Dreadlord makes its way to the bottom right-hand side of the map. Huge fight for KraV. Nice plays. Yeah, nice plays coming back and forth at both sides. Really not, really trying to adapt to the pacing of this game. This is definitely not your standard game whatsoever. Meanwhile, mass ghouls with a Ghoul Frenzy now coming online here and going to finish off one of those Water Elementals quickly. Now the Destroyer, however, could end up getting taken down. There's a Carry-On Swarm, as the Destroyer is on Blight and will end up getting taken down here. No, staying strong at 44 hit points for quite a while before finally getting shot down. All right, more engaging, more attacking. Dreadlord still sitting at level 5, was unable to protect that unable to protect that destroyer. And with that destroyer gone, an obsidian statue here may try to dump a bunch of mana into the Dreadlord before, well, taking to the skies. Water elemental attacks, metaphysics, cool game. Now, a little bit of respite here. A little bit of respite here for both sides not engaging. We can see the Spellbreakers are engaging here as well. Level 1 Stormbolt. Carrion Swarm not going to be that useful, as there's not that many units here to really absorb some of that damage. Carrion Swarm ripping through, going to find those flying machines in the back. Holy Light saving up that knight there, as the flying machines are going to be, well, really battling against those destroyers. Obsidian statues, 38 supply compared to 69, inspired with a significantly larger army, but has not been able to find a way to capitalize on it yet. The fear of that Dreadlord getting to level 6 and being able to drop down an Infernal is a big problem, as Obsidian statues are trying to create a little bit of space around that Dreadlord, but unable to do so. There's a Carrion Swarm ripping through. Now Dreadlord going to go ahead and summon an Infernal right there on the side. That was a big summon right there. Are we going to see some damage? Archmage gets taken down. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the Archmage gets taken down, but still ends up getting, well, also the Dreadlord falls at level 6 as well. We may see a quick resurrection here. Units trying to retreat all the way back. Archmage falling or getting stunned down by the Infernal, coupled with that Carrion Swarm, just enough damage, but the Archmage quickly, well, trained back up here. Back on the other side once more, still mining away. The army going to be pushing on through. The army of human getting significantly larger and more powerful during all this time. Meanwhile, Dreadlord is not even being resurrected as of yet. Altar of Darkness doesn't show any signs of resurrection, and that could be a problem. All right, resurrection at the tavern by the Infernal. How cheeky is that? As the Infernal wants the boss man to come out and play again. All right, flying machines do have those bombs, so those flying machines are going to be able to drop those bombs pretty easily against the Tomb of Relics here, perhaps try to bomb it down. Meanwhile, Mountain King comes across with the level 1 Thunderclap, slowing things up again. Carrion Swarm trying to shoot down more of those fly machines. I believe a good number of fly machines were shot down there, as the Dreadlord now getting to near level 7. Ghouls with that frenzy, no unholy aura, sorceress able to slip past that raccoon without getting hung up, but I believe the ghoul is going to be able to take down that sorceress with no problem. We are watching a WarCraft 3 game, aren't we? All right, not quite sure what's happening in chat, but let's go ahead and focus on the game. All right, Infernal still trying to make its way back over. Dreadlord, another Carrion Swarm ripping through. Dreadlord doing his best impersonation of a mana or intellect-based hero, constantly just firing spell after spell. No Staff of Sanctuary means, wait, how did that get denied? Maybe by the Water Elemental. Not quite sure what happened there, as this Water Elemental gonna get shut down. This would have given level 7 to the Dreadlord if the Knight had fallen first, as there's still a mana pot on this Dreadlord. All right, Carrion Swarm ripping through, almost taking down that Knight, but without a mana pot now, it's going to be up to the Obsidian statues, as the Infernals are trying to get in a little bit more damage. Units are trying to retreat back. There's a Staff of Sanctuary trying to save up some low hit point units, as we could be looking at a Mountain King getting taken down. All right, the Dreadlord doing a great impersonation of intellect-based heroes, just constantly killing units with spells, and all of that AoE damage. Another squadron of fly machines shot down out of the sky. All right, mortar teams are here as well. There's a little bit of Devour Magic trying to go back the other way. Dreadlord still needs a little bit more mana, as the Obsidian statue going to go ahead and take to the skies here and perhaps try and Devour Magic all of these water elementals. One, fly machine gets shot, or gets the final shot off where the water elemental did, and now still exchanging back and forth. 41 supply compared to 64. Interesting to see how KraV's smaller army is consistently battling up against Inspired's larger army and still being able to get in some efficient trades. All right, Dreadlord now sitting at level 7, getting closer to level, getting closer to level 8 now. This is going to be a very Very, very big deal. Perhaps Vampiric Aura will help out even more. More Obsidian statues need to get added in, but playing this off-meta, off-standard game, trying to deal with all of this carry-on swarm, Inspired is perhaps a little bit at a loss. Staffs of Sanctuary, however, will take away some of that threatening power of a sudden sleep and surround, as the Dreadlord is still a bit low on mana. Both sides running up on two bases. Main bases have about 90 seconds of mining left, 2 minutes of mining left, as the mortar team could just end up getting absolutely blasted alongside all of... Oh, no, Infernal going to go ahead, followed by a carry-on swarm, and there is all of that damage getting racked up already. All right, Ghouls still benefiting from a little bit of Blight being left behind here earlier, as a Scroll of Town Portal now inbound. Dreadlord going to be running out of mana here in just a moment because of that Arcane Tower, but the Obsidian Statue is there to provide support already. All right, are we going to see any more engagement? Scroll of Town Portal, something that was missing during this previous engagement, as Ghoul 1 was taken down. A bunch of peasants were lost there. Inspired now down to 12 workers. May just rotate the peasants from the north field down to the south field, so to speak, as, well, and then the Dreadlord is, well, just shy of level 8. All right, Circlet of Nobility, Mass Ghouls. Ghouls are at 1-0 upgrades. Doesn't even have 2-0 upgrades on these Frenzied Ghouls, as I thought he would try to pick up another Potion of Mana. No Potion of Mana there. KraV just, wandering around with this Infernal. All right, trying to pick up a third hero at this point and stage in the game is rather dangerous, or a second hero is rather dangerous for KraV, especially with the Mountain King so close to level 3 and already the Paladin at level 3. A level 2 Holy Light and level 2 Stormbolt is near certain death for any level 1 hero already, and just more to try and keep track and manage. Dreadlord is going to stay at level 7. As you guys know, you do not gain any additional experience after level 5, but the Dreadlord does pick up a Wand of Mana Stealing, so that is going to be very beneficial for additional bits of damage. All right, I take it back. Death Knight now getting trained up by KraV. Perhaps those heals, if he's able to keep that Death Knight in the backfield, he'll be able to keep him alive. Meanwhile, Archmage or Mountain King finally gets up to level 3. We are looking at some Spellbreakers here, but a bad Carrion Swarm. Carrion Swarm trying to rip through that center right there, but there was no more peasants. KraV wasting a bit of mana, now needs to make its way back down to the south. Ghoul is now trying to retreat back here. That is a lot of Knights, Sorceresses, and Priests. Paladin now leading the charge. This low hit point Ghoul gonna get it taken down, and I feel like Inspired has better control of this game so far. More damage getting racked up, but KraV is making sure that his opponent is not mining any gold whatsoever. So 1 base versus 0, as all of the peasants are currently down here. All right, are we going to be looking at some engagements as well? These Obsidian statues could try and fight against the flying machines. It does actually micro to take down one of those flying machines, as the Obsidian statues are able to teleport away. Death Knight during this time trying to clear out some of these creep camps, perhaps get to level 2 for Unholy Aura, as the Death Knight, could make some interesting plays as well. One Water Elemental being left behind. Dreadlord selling that Wand of Mana Stealing, opting to perhaps pick up something else instead. What is he going to be picking up? No repairs on the Obsidian statues either. A lot of things to account for, as the Ghouls are, back here. We are now going into a third Lich. All right, so if I thought the Death Knight was weak before and going to get blasted quickly, the 475 hit point Lich, 1 Orb of Fire attack coupled with a Stormbolt and a Holy Light will nearly take it down. Remember, heroes do have some natural resistance against spells. All right, where is all of this going here? Dreadlord, is he going to try and summon down an Infernal? Stormbolt right there. This could be a bad sign here. Where is he going to, what's going to go down here? There is that Infernal. There is the Death Coil trying to save the Dreadlord. Dreadlord, however, also has that Orb of Fire problem. That means the heals are not going to be nearly as much, as the Mountain King comes in with a Thunderclap as well. Dreadlord getting caught out in mid-open field was the final misstep, or a misstep by KraV that allows Inspire to get back into this game with a vengeance. Those carry-on swarms would have been a drastic difference, especially dealing with these flying machines that are just constantly dropping bombs on these obsidian statues. This go wide strategy with flying machines to deal with destroyers, one carry-on swarm would have just greatly weakened all of that down right there. Ghoul is trying to retreat back now. Death Knight, I believe, had some sort of healing going on. Knight's now trying to retreat back as well. Lich does have Frost Nova, but hasn't really been able to finish anything off there. All right, in comes another Thunderclap. Level 2 Thunderclap. Obsidian statues trying to dodge those bombs from the flying machines. It looks as though the flying machines are going to be able to finish off another Obsidian statue there, as the Altar of Darkness gonna get bombarded before the Dreadlord is able to make its way back out. And with that, that is gonna be the game, as the Paladin throws up a Divine Shield and says, I don't have to deal with a full hit point 100 mana Dreadlord anytime soon if you want to resurrect it from the tavern. 46 supply compared to 71. Continued bombing runs here, but yeah, that Dreadlord would have made a drastic difference. We've seen how strong KraV has been with that Dreadlord and that carry-on swarm, but Inspired just landing that Stormbolt to finish it off. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.